The email sat in my drafts folder for exactly 48 hours before I hit send. My finger hovered over the mouse, trembling slightly, knowing that once I clicked, there would be no going back. Everything Marcus had built, the reputation, the promotions, the corner office with the city view, all of it would crumble with one single email. And you know what? After what he did to me on my 30th birthday, he deserved every bit of what was coming. See, most people think revenge is about anger, about lashing out in the heat of the moment. But the sweetest revenge? It's cold, calculated, methodical. It's about watching someone who underestimated you realize, too late, that they made the biggest mistake of their life. My name is Sophia Chen, and this is the story of how my boss fired me on my birthday, and how I made sure he'd never forget that decision for the rest of his career. If you've ever been blindsided by someone you trusted, if you've ever been kicked while you were down, if you've ever dreamed of serving ice-cold justice to someone who wronged you, you're going to love this story. Hit that like button right now, subscribe if you haven't already, and buckle up, because what you're about to hear is one of the most satisfying comebacks I've ever lived through. Let me take you back 2 years. I was 28 years old, working as a senior marketing analyst at TechVance Solutions, a mid-sized tech company in Seattle. Not a startup, not quite corporate, somewhere in that sweet spot where you could still make an impact, still be seen. And I was good at my job. Like, really good. I'd spent 3 years climbing from an entry-level coordinator position to senior analyst. I'd launched campaigns that brought in millions in revenue. I'd built client relationships that other departments relied on. My metrics were always top tier, highest engagement rates, best ROI, most innovative strategies. But here's the thing about being good at your job. It makes some people want to celebrate you, and it makes others want to destroy you. Enter Marcus Kellerman. Marcus was my direct supervisor, the director of marketing. 42 years old, prematurely gray hair that he thought made him look distinguished, always wore expensive suits that were just a touch too tight. He had this laugh, this sharp, barking laugh, that made you feel like you were the butt of a joke you didn't understand. When I first started, Marcus seemed fine, professional, supportive even. He'd praise my work in meetings, forward my reports to upper management with glowing comments, tell me I had real potential. I trusted him. God, I trusted him. Looking back now, I can see the signs I missed. The way he'd take credit for my ideas in executive meetings. The way he'd volunteer me for impossible deadlines, then swoop in at the last minute to save the day. The way his compliments always had a tiny barb hidden inside. Great work, Sophia. Though I did have to clean up a few details. But I was young, hungry. I thought this was just how corporate America worked. You put your head down, you deliver results, and eventually, you get recognized. I was wrong. March 14th, my 30th birthday. I'd taken the morning off to have breakfast with my mom and my younger sister, Emma. We went to this cute little cafe near Pike Place. Market, the kind with overpriced avocado, toast and lattes with foam art. Mom gave me a necklace. That had been my grandmother's, Emma. Gave me a gift card to my favorite bookstore and a card that said, 30 and thriving. I felt happy, hopeful. I'd been dropping hints to Marcus for weeks about a promotion that had opened up. Marketing manager, a position that would put me on the same level as him, just in a different division. I'd applied, had my interview, and word through the grapevine was that I was the front runner. I thought maybe, just maybe, today would be the day I'd hear the good news. I got to the office around 11 a.m., carrying the leftover cupcakes my mom had insisted I bring for my team. The second I stepped off the elevator, I knew something was wrong. The energy was off. My coworker, Priya, looked up from her desk, and her eyes went wide. She opened her mouth like she wanted to say something, then looked away quickly. My heart started pounding. I walked to my desk, a corner cubicle with a window view I'd earned after my first year, and saw it immediately. A cardboard box. Already packed. My stomach dropped. My framed photo of Emma and me at her college graduation. My favorite coffee mug, the one that said, "Powered by caffeine and chaos." The succulent plant Priya had given me as a work anniversary gift. All of it, packed neatly into a box with the Tech Vance logo on the side. Sophia. I turned. Marcus stood there, hands in his pockets, that infuriating half-smile on his face. The one that said he was about to ruin your day and enjoy every second of it. "We need to talk," he said. "Conference room B." I don't remember walking to the conference room. I don't remember sitting down. All I remember is Marcus sliding a folder across the table, thin, maybe 3 pages inside, and saying, "We're letting you go, effective immediately." The words hit me like a physical blow. "What?" My voice came out strangled. "What are you talking about?" Marcus leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled like he was some kind of TV villain. "Your performance has been inconsistent. We've received complaints about your attitude. And frankly, Sophia, we don't think you're the right fit for where this company is heading." Inconsistent. Attitude. Not the right fit. Buzzwords. Corporate doublespeak. None of it meant anything. "That's not true," I said, my hands shaking. "My numbers are the best on the team. You know that. I just closed the Riverside account last month. That's a $2 million client. Which you nearly lost due to poor communication," Marcus said smoothly. I had to step in personally to salvage that relationship. That was a lie. A blatant, shameless lie, and we both knew it. "This is about the promotion, isn't it?" The words spilled out before I could stop them. "You're firing me because I applied for marketing manager." Something flickered in Marcus's eyes. Satisfaction, maybe, or contempt. "Don't be dramatic," he said. "This is a business decision. Nothing personal." "It's my birthday, Marcus." I don't know why I said it. Like that mattered. Like he'd suddenly develop a conscience. He smiled. That sharp, cruel smile. "Happy birthday, Sophia." I cried in my car for 20 minutes before I could even turn the key. Not pretty crying. Ugly, gasping snot running down your face crying. The kind where you can't catch your breath and your chest feels like it's caving in. I'd given 3 years of my life to that company. Weekends, late nights. Skipped family dinners and missed friends' weddings and sacrificed my 20s to prove I was good enough. And Marcus fired me. On my birthday, with a smile on his face. When I finally drove home, I didn't tell my mom. Didn't tell Emma. I couldn't bear to say the words out loud. Not yet. Instead, I sat on my couch, staring at the wall, replaying every moment. Every meeting where Marcus took credit for my work, every time he volunteered me for the worst projects, every condescending comment disguised as feedback. And that's when the anger started to build. Not the hot, explosive kind. The cold kind. The kind that settles in your bones and hardens into something sharp and unbreakable. I opened my laptop. Here's the thing about working closely with someone for 3 years. You learn things. You see things. And Marcus had always been just a little too careless with his digital footprint. I'd helped him with presentations before. Fixed his formatting errors. Retrieved files from his shared drive when he forgot where he saved things. I'd had access to his work folders. Never abused it. Never even thought about it, but technically, I still had the login credentials to the shared company project management system. I logged in. I told myself I was just looking for proof. Documentation of my performance metrics to dispute the firing. Evidence that Marcus had lied about my work. What I found was so much worse. Buried in a subfolder marked Budget Reconciliation Q3, because who would ever look there? I found a document titled Expense Reports. Personal. Curiosity pulled me in. I opened it, and my jaw dropped. Marcus had been embezzling from the company for at least 18 months. Not huge amounts. He was smart about it, kept it under the radar, but steady, consistent, fake vendor invoices, inflated expense reports for client dinners that never happened, hotel stays billed to the company for personal trips. All totaled, nearly $180,000. But that wasn't even the best part. I kept digging, and I found emails. Dozens of them. Between Marcus and Victoria Chen, no relation to me, the VP of sales. Emails that were, let's just say, extremely unprofessional, explicit. Discussing not just their affair, but how they were planning to push out dead weight in the marketing and sales departments to make room for their friends. My name was on that list, along with 5 other people. This wasn't about my performance. This was about Marcus clearing the board so he could install his cronies, so he could protect his little kingdom and his dirty secrets. I sat back in my chair, heart pounding, mind racing. I had him. I didn't send the email right away. That's the thing about revenge. If you do it in the heat of the moment, you make mistakes. You get sloppy. You let emotion cloud your strategy. No, I spent 48 hours thinking, planning, making absolutely sure I had every detail right. First, I compiled everything. Screenshots of the fake invoices, copies of the expense reports, the emails between Marcus and Victoria. I organized it all into a single, devastating PDF document, professionally formatted, chronologically ordered, with highlights and notes. I titled it, Financial Misconduct and Ethics Violations, Evidence Report. Then I drafted the email. Not to Marcus. Oh no, that would have been pointless. I sent it to 3 people. Jonathan Price, CEO of TechVant Solutions, Rachel Huang, Chief Financial Officer, David Morton, Head of Human Resources. The subject line, Urgent. Evidence of fraud and policy violations requiring immediate investigation. The body was short, professional, no emotion, no drama, just facts. To whom it may concern, I am a former employee of TechVant Solutions, recently terminated under circumstances I now believe were retaliatory in nature. During my tenure, I became aware of serious financial and ethical violations committed by Marcus Kellerman, Director of Marketing. Attached to this email is a comprehensive report documenting fraudulent expense reports and vendor invoices totaling approximately $80,000 inappropriate, personal relationships affecting personnel decisions, evidence of planned terminations based on personal bias rather than performance. I believe these matters warrant immediate investigation by your finance and HR departments, as well as potential legal review. All documentation is verifiable through your internal systems. Respectfully, Sophia Chen. My finger hovered over the send button. This was it. The point of no return. I thought about Marcus's face when he fired me. That smug smile. Happy birthday, Sophia. I clicked send. The first sign that my email had landed came 36 hours later. Priya texted me. Holy shit, Sophia. What did you do? I called her immediately. Marcus is losing his mind, she whispered, like she was afraid someone would overhear even though she was calling from home. HR pulled him into a meeting yesterday afternoon with the CEO and CFO. He came out looking like he'd seen a ghost. Then this morning, IT locked him out of his computer. Security escorted him out of the building an hour ago. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. What about Victoria? I asked. Same thing. She's gone. People are saying the company's launching a full internal audit. I hung up and just sat there, stunned. It had worked. It had actually worked. 3 days after Marcus was escorted out of TechVance, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Sophia. Marcus's voice, but different. Stripped of all that arrogant confidence. Thin. Desperate. You need to fix this, he said. You need to tell them you made a mistake, that you misunderstood. I didn't misunderstand anything, Marcus. Silence. You ruined my life, he said finally, and I could hear something breaking in his voice. Do you understand what you've done? The company's threatening legal action, criminal charges. My wife is leaving me. I'm going to lose everything. And you know what I felt hearing him say that? Nothing. No guilt. No sympathy, just cold satisfaction. You fired me on my birthday, I said quietly. You looked me in the eye, lied about my work, and destroyed my career because I was a threat to you. You stole from the company. You manipulated people. You ruined lives to protect your ego. Sophia, please. You told me it was nothing personal. I continued, my voice steady. Well, Marcus, this isn't personal either. It's just business. I hung up. He called 4 more times that day. I blocked the number. 2 weeks later, I got a call from Rachel Huang. The CFO TechVance wanted to hire me back. Not as a senior analyst, as the interim director of marketing. Marcus's old position. They also wanted to settle any potential wrongful termination claims I might have. The settlement included back pay, a formal apology, and a glowing reference letter. I took the job. Not because I wanted to go back. Honestly, the place had left a bitter taste in my mouth, but because I wanted to walk back into that office with my head held high. On my first day back, I walked past my old cubicle. Someone new was sitting there now. I walked past the conference room where Marcus had fired me, and I walked into the corner office with the city view. Priya met me with coffee and a grin. You're a legend, she said. People are still talking about what you did. I smiled. He should have just given me the promotion, I said. Here's what I learned from all of this. Sometimes the universe doesn't hand you justice. Sometimes you have to take it yourself. Not with violence, not with cruelty, but with truth, with receipts, with the cold, hard evidence that bad people can't argue with. Marcus thought I was powerless, forgettable, easy to discard. He was wrong. So, if this story gave you chills, if you felt that satisfying rush of justice, smash that like button right now and let me know in the comments. What's the most epic comeback you've ever witnessed or pulled off yourself? And of course, subscribe for more stories of people who got what they deserved. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for listening. This is Sophia Chen, signing off. And remember, karma isn't always instant. But when it hits hard.